football fans, let's give a big congratulations to the Moroccan under-20 team after winning the World Cup, the under-20 World Cup. Congratulations to them. Been dominant from start to finish. I think they won all the games they played, from the group stage down to the final. They played against Argentina, beat Argentina 2-0, 2-0. So top marks to them for the brilliant job they've done. Big congratulations. Their country, their nation has invested richly in football, and their FA has been strategic when it comes to recruiting of talent. So whether it's dual nationals or homegrown players, they have been on the forefront. I think they are the blueprint for Africa, and on today's show, I think they are the blueprint for Nigeria to follow, right? Because Nigerian football right now is in a mess. Let's be honest about it. The fact that we're having to play a playoff to qualify for the World Cup, in a group where the strongest team was South Africa, then that just tells you everything you need to know. Right, you look at South Africa, you look at Rwanda, you look at Zimbabwe. With due respect to these teams, they shouldn't really be Benin Republic. They shouldn't really be competing with Nigeria on the level playing field if the administrators do what they have to do. Now, if you've heard me on this video, I've talked about I've talked about Nigerian football, how to improve it, what can be done. I've complained a lot about things. Now, in this video, I'll be giving my own 2 cents on how I think Nigerian football can really be rebuilt. Is indeed in huge need of rebuilding. Of course, we will constantly produce people like Victor Osimhen, Victor Boniface, Akol Adams, Ademola Lookmans, constantly produce these talents, whether from the grassroots within Nigeria or from outside the shores of Nigeria. But players who are eligible to play for Nigeria will always produce these players, right? But we have to rebuild the system because everyone is competing. People think DRC Congo will be an easy game. It won't be an easy game if we get to that point, if Nigeria are able to beat Gabon. It won't be easy because every team right now doing their utmost to get the best players they can get, whether it's dual nationals, whether it's homegrown talents from within the shores and borders of the country. Every country, European countries, South American countries, African countries, everyone wants to get the best players they can possibly get. But if for some reason it feels like Nigeria have something else on their minds. But anyways, so before I go on to give you my 2 cents about this, I'll just a brief short montage of what I have in mind. So just listen, and then I'll get back to you once this video is done. So
the blueprint for success is there for the Nigerian Football Federation to implement. Invest in youth development through a grassroots league. Create pathways for players at grassroots academies. Identify a universal style of play for all national teams. Integrate top-level dual nationals into all age-grade teams. Invest in playing infrastructure across the country.
Now you've seen that brief montage is over. You can see the 3 key things I've itemized with respect to things that Nigeria needs to do if we intend to rebuild Nigerian football. So first off, you have to invest in football, and that's where the government comes in. Because in different videos I've said this, during live streams I've said this as well, that the government has to. Everybody has their own part to play. The players, the NFF, the coaches, the players. So in this regard, the federal government has to invest in infrastructure, right? Have the right infrastructure in place, so stadiums, academy training pitches, and have things like that. And probably you do this in liaison with the NFF, because I think they are the key stakeholders in Nigerian football. So I think that's key to be done. That's important to be done. And then you talk about integration of players. Now we're looking at home base. We're looking at home base players. We're looking at foreign, would I say, developed players as well. And that's why I say Morocco is the blueprint, because they are in a similar situation like Nigeria, because they're a country where they produce homegrown talent just like Nigeria. though they're more organized in that sense, but they produce homegrown talent just like Nigeria, and they also have dual nationals outside of their shores. So people think everyone who plays in the Moroccan team just comes up straight out of Rabat. Some were born in Brussels, some were born in Holland, but they found a way to integrate these players, have the best of both worlds. So players produced from within Morocco and players produced from outside of Morocco. So the same thing should be done in Nigeria, where you having players produced by likes of Valiant FC, Beyond Limit, Atlantic Business, Sporting Lagos FA, and all these clubs. Integrate them into the national team setup now from under 17 and rising upwards to the Super Eagles. Then of course the dual national thing is super important. Every country is doing this, and you must compete. So for me, and a lot of people like to go, oh, these dual nationals are not passionate enough about this. I don't think that's right. I think that's really wrong in my opinion. So dual nationals who are talented enough, who want to play, and remember, you have to sell yourself to these players. You might say, why would you do that? You have to do it because all over the globe, football players don't have the right to choose. Most times, 99% of the time, they can choose where they play for, the country they play for. But ever so often, you have dual nationals that are very good. They now have the opportunity to choose, and if you want to win, and if you want to win, you need to put aside these what I call losers' ego, where if he doesn't bow to us and creep on his knees, he's not going to play. We can't want him to play for us. If he's willing to play, but needs some assurances, we know how things are with respect to football in Nigerian football administration. So you need to sell yourself and say, okay, this is the plan for you. This is what I want in the team, and you're genuine with your intentions. So that's super important. Integration and recruitment. So we're looking at grassroots players, looking at players from outside the shores of Nigeria, just like Morocco have done. So you get the best of both worlds, the best talents produced from within the country, and the best talents eligible to play for the country from outside of the country as well. That's how I look at it in that regard. And then the last bit, a lot of people look at it and say, what do you mean by a universal playing style? For me, and why is it important? A universal playing style just simply means a style that will be played by the Golden Eagles, by the Flying Eagles, and the Super Eagles. So integration becomes easier, right? And to some extent, you can even just nudge the clubs a bit, not force them, because they're in a different world themselves. Nudge the clubs a bit, nudge the grassroots teams a bit. Say, for instance, as Eritrea has opted to go for a 4-2-2-2 so far. I don't know if it will change come the Gabon game. So everyone from the Flying Eagle, from the Golden Eagles up to the Super Eagles will be playing that 4-2-2-2. So you can easily integrate players from that under 17, move them over to under 20s, and then go over to maybe under 23s in an Olympic year, and then move them over easily to the Super Eagles. And it's easier that way because they're used to the same style of play, and becomes a universally accepted style of play within the context of Nigeria. So that's super important for me, because I think then you go on there and you can express yourself easily, and then it also helps you with scouting the kind of players you need. When you have that overall appreciation of the style of football that you want to play, it becomes easier for your scouting team to go out and say, okay, we need 2 box-to-box center midfielders, we need like 4 or 5 wide forwards that can masquerade as 10 sometimes, depending on how we play with or without possession. So I think this is our itemizers I've mentioned are just some things that need to be implemented if Nigerian football is to be rebuilt, if Nigerian football wants to get back to a position where you can really compete in the age group competitions, compete and win the AFCON, and then indeed qualify for World Cups without worries, without the use of calculators. So let me know your opinions on all I've said right now. If you're new to the channel, please smash the subscribe button, and also do well to share this video to people you feel love content like this. And I'll see you on yet another video. So stay well, stay blessed. Bye bye.